reflect on reflection. The reflection I want you to reflect on is called what, so what, now what. First, what? Objectively review the facts of an event or a situation without exercising any judgment. And so what? Why is this event important? What have I learned from this event? Now what? To apply what has been learned, to make changes, and take actionable steps for future behavior or purpose. Meaning, what should I do next? This is a simple model of a powerful 3-step tool for personal growth, problem solving, and creating action plans. Thank you for listening.
Oh. 17 people for class. It's 18 total.
Thank you, Walter. So we have 17 people here today, 18. We have guests of Tom's from Philpott, which will be introduced later when they make their report to us. And do we have any other guests that need to be introduced? Okay, seeing none, we will. We're going to have our formal speech to start, and I'd now like to call on Jackie Scroggie to announce our feature speaker today, isn't it?
Thank you, Ron. Well, what? Move it down?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Thank you for looking after me. I need all the help I can get, you know. Okay, I was absolutely delighted to be asked in Gunitzi's absence to introduce Ismet. Ismet has been involved in Rotary for a long time, despite her very youthful appearance. This lady is an experienced Rotarian. She was introduced to Rotary early as a Rotary scholar in high school in Turkey. And when she graduated from university, she knew how she wanted to contribute to her community. And it was through membership in the Rotary Club of Marmaris, that beautiful city on the Aegean. And it was through membership in the Rotary Club of Marmaris that she established her Rotary roots. When she came to Canada a few years ago with her husband and young son, she looked for a Rotary family, and gratefully she found us.
This makes no sense to me.
Ismet, who is an urban planner by classification, commutes to Cambridge, Ontario for work with the Grand River Conservation Authority. But she finds ample time to be a Rotarian, for instance, in the support of the Tree of Remembrance, the Farmers Market, and our environmental activities on Don River cleanups. Ismet can teach us a lot about the many ways to be an active Rotarian. So folks, please listen carefully and give a warm welcome to one of our newest members, Ismet Zorlu.
Thanks so much. I'm really so honored, Jackie, for this introduction. I feel a bit emotional and also excited, so please bear with me while I'm doing my presentation today. So I will begin my presentation. Just I need to enter the password first because it's locked. Okay.
You want me to put that down?
I just want it closer to the mic.
Can you put your mouth closer to the
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone, my Rotary family. I feel really belonged from the very first time that I had connected to Rotary, as Jackie mentioned, from the from the end of my high school time and when I entered the university. So these times, I think begins with searching for finding a meaning about life, which was generally and which was really basically based on true service, through understanding people and helping them without expecting anything that much better afterwards. This was what Rotary teach me at a very. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Pull it.
Lower it just a bit, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's better. Okay. So I want to begin with a quote which I really love so much. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. This is what I was feeling when I had very first time that Rotary supported me when I entered the university. So I also had that feeling because my family was always into helping people, our neighbors, our relatives. So this is the
It's okay, I'm just gonna slide.
this was the very first time. So thank you for this opportunity today that I had the chance to review myself and talk about what's my background, who am I, what my purposes are, where did I live. So that's that kind of things. As Walter also mentioned today in his reflection, I also thought how I can do my presentation to my Rotary family. I thought that I can begin doing 5W and 1 person, which is what, where, when, who, and how. So I just I just want to begin with who am I? So I'm a mother actually. I'm a wife and a proud mother of a wonderful child. He's 10 years old, so I'm happy to have and grateful for having that beautiful family. And I also have a very beautiful mother and father and 2 sisters who are still living in Turkey, and I have very deeply connected with family bonds. So I always feel myself in the service of people, helping people, others. So that's why I really drawn into the Rotary. But at the same time, I had a profession and I became an urban planner in the university. Actually, I worked for the cities, but then I wanted to work for the protection of nature, which we are deeply connected as humanity. So we need to build healthy relationships with the environment we are living in. So this is also supported my long-term goals and my aim to contribute to life overall. So what else? Yeah, I like to taking photographs. So when I visit, go outside to nature, I like taking photographs. Not only nature, but all the city, because I love to see that connection. So this is also one of my photographs, and throughout the presentation, I used just mine. So as a side project, I learned yoga, and I had this very small groups. I had taught yoga, especially in the COVID times. I had some online trainings with people helping to relax and for stress relief. I also had some breathe training, and just for work for stress relief. And I think it's a really huge opportunity to use our breath to release stress or trauma. This is also another thing, how I can help people understand their stress and how to manage that. This is also a side thing that I'm tackling and learning and developing day by day. I also have some ideas in the future that through Rotary, how we can work for people's mental health, trauma relief, so we can work with charities to do some project related with it. So this is also one of the long-term projects that I can also work besides environmental projects. So this is, actually I also love learning languages. I'm also learning French nowadays and really into entertaining with some French friends to have some conversations, getting to know that language itself alongside English. So this is what I am generally, and I'm an urban planner, and I graduated in 2006 from one of the best universities in Turkey. So I had always been drawn into being succeeding in the things that I concentrated on. So I graduated in urban planning to do studies on urbanism and nature protection. And I also entered the Ministry of Environment, where I worked 12 years in Turkey. These at that times I had the chance to have some work on European new projects. Also facilitated some teams in international and national projects. So this is my experience when I was in Turkey. I always enjoyed exploring different streets, capturing moments throughout photography, and having that vision of understanding different cultures and perspectives. So this is what I felt when I work on projects. As I said, I worked in the Ministry of Environment for 12 years for coastal management roles in especially Aegean and Mediterranean coastal line with some national and international partners. Then for a change, I think I needed, and my family needed that change, to move from practice to theory, where I had the chance to come to York University here in Toronto, work with some academicians and on climate solutions and climate change. We worked on an article researching the effects of biodiversity and environmental policy actions. So this opened a different gate and perspective to me to get to know a different city, a different culture, and people working in this profession, in this sector. So this is how I become recently. I like this term as also Torontonian. I love to be living in Toronto, being in this vibrant city. I don't know, you're also feeling the same when you are also already born in Toronto. But this city is a different feeling. You are not only living in a very crowded, a very vibrant and big city, but you also have the chance to get lost in that creeks and riverines. And this is a very fascinating thing, to find the balance between that hustle and bustle, but at the same time you have the chance to get involved in that nature and walk along that path. So this is also related how urban planning have the respect to protect that nature within that parks, riverines, creeks. So this gives me a chance to understand how these areas are managed, through which authorities or which rules, policies. So then I begin to learn Toronto Region Conservation Authority. The other authority now I'm working with Grand River Conservation Authority, and here 36 conservation authorities in Ontario doing this management to protect that watershed areas against hazards, and at the same time building sustainable communities. This idea is a really excellent management example for me to learn, and I'm grateful to have a chance to work within that authority as an urban planner again, doing my similar role when I was in Turkey, contributing to this society where I'm living. So this is a really fascinating, and I'm really thankful to have that. So this was the thing that since 2 years I'm working and tackling and learning, and now I'm, as Jackie mentioned, commuting from Cambridge to Toronto sometimes of the week, but I also have time here to contribute to my family and Rotary on the weekends in the
some environmental activities and our farmers market project, which I believe, deeply believe, in the long term it will be really effective to get people involved in our mission and vision, because we're having a chance to make ourselves seen there, and people beginning to ask what is Rotary. This is a very good question to begin with, because somebody is really interested to get know what we are doing there, so why we are there. So beginning from this discussion, I think we will have deep roots throughout time, but it takes time. It's just a 1 day or just a 1 week activity to get people get involved in our family Rotary. So yeah, I just this is generally what I'm doing as a 5W method that I try to conceptualize, but I can talk about myself. But I really want to be so interactive, otherwise I feel it's like that. So if you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt and ask anything you would like. I don't want to bother you, but please.
When you were growing up and living in Turkey,
Yeah.
what did you know about Canada, or how did you learn about it, or
Yes,
what attracted you here?
Actually, as a planner, from planner perspective side, yeah, I have a lot of friends here. From a personal perspective, I learned a lot from nature especially, but my friends generally live in Toronto. But I also would know a bit about the Vancouver and the Rocky Mountains. There are a lot of regional parks, conservation areas. So Canada was symbol for me to have a very huge natural areas to conserve, very important biodiversity areas to protect, and some big cities connected with that nature. But not other than that, I didn't know that much information, because I just had some friends. I have said their reflections of their experiences, which differ. Some real happy to be here. Some weren't that much satisfied with the conditions and turned back to maybe some European cities to move forward. So it really differs from which perspective you look and what you expect from that city. So, but I always have a very good inspiration, and when I get into touch with York University, my professor, I was really excited. I just said that yes, I want to come, and I just quit my job in ministry after 12 years and joined this journey, which I really like and enjoy. So yeah, this is, yeah, please. I'm always fascinated, to experience how Rotary is an international organization. I've learned so much about Rotary from visiting Rotary clubs in other countries. Tell us a little bit about the Rotary Club of Marmaris. Like who joins it? What sort of projects do you work on?
Yeah. I actually, when 2022, my friend became the president of Marmaris Rotary Club. Since then I didn't have that opportunity to get involved, but when she became the president, I wanted to help and then get involved to do something that I always wanted to do. So they were working on the women's shelter project at that time. So we were 24 people, not that big, mainly working for the private sector, some lawyers, architects. Marmaris is a very touristic attraction point. There are a lot of tourists coming, so there are a lot of developers, tourist tour operators, which we were really involved in, but mainly the lawyers. So we are a very small group. But when I entered that, she was working actively on women's shelter project.
Women's shelter.
Women's shelter, opening a women's shelter who were in need or who had some abuse from family or from husband or what would be the cause itself. So I generally had the role to having connections with the other partners like public municipalities. This can be other public bodies. So I had generally have the communication and the correspondences. I just involved. She had the idea, but I work again for finishing that project. And at the same time, we had again for the environmental, we didn't have separate environmental committees or other specified committees, but we have at that year 2 or 3 projects to complete, and then work on that, like beach cleanup projects, or for the plastic pollution especially in the Aegean and Mediterranean seas. For awareness project, we partner with the municipality, Marmaris municipality itself. So mainly this was not that much projects because we were very small group and we were meeting monthly, but with smaller groups we were having weekly connections to complete and help the municipalities to complete their projects. So, but mainly people were working and in the private sector, mainly working. Yeah. Okay, yeah, please.
Just maybe over to Stephen Stein. Thank you.
I'm just a small couple of. I'm just
Few
covering.
items? Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
I was
Please
just
go
covering.
ahead.
So just I will be so quick. So yeah, I just traveled a lot, even in Turkey. I born in Istanbul, raised in Balıkesir, where I met my Rotary family there. So and then I moved to Ankara to graduate, but then again worked in Istanbul, moved to Aegean and Mediterranean again. But there I lived like 12 years, and it was very fantastic to be in that vibrant small village where I worked for the regional conservation. But then time came and I decided to move a more vibrant city and have different experiences and work for my Rotary family. As I mentioned, I was a bursary when I was in the university, where I had that. It wasn't just a financial support; it was just emotional and moral support for me too. Because Rotary believed in me and they didn't accept anything. They didn't even ask me after graduating, but maybe they might have asked, as we also discussed, Jackie. Because I would have to maybe get more involved, but I didn't forget what I have received. So it was very nice to give back to the communities, because it's a feeling. Why Rotary? Yeah, it's a very powerful way of connecting with others and contributing to the world. And you find a purpose in life, so that's why I really feel drawn from the very first day. And I believe that Rotary's core values are more than an organization. So it's a huge collaboration for sustainable life on Earth and compassionate action for humanity. Yeah, maybe very short how I can contribute, because I have recently I had an experience for the Grand River Conservation Authority, where they got supported from their local Rotary Club. So that was a nice for the foundation of a nature center there in the Gulf Lake area. So I thought that we can have also some other corporate partnership with conservation authorities here as Eglinton Rotary Club, where they take action for environment. This can be for youth or for education awareness. We can have them partnerships and contribute their project. This can be also give value for our for marketing or advertising, getting people know about who we are. So this is what I was thinking while preparing this presentation, and I can share the details later on how we can connect with them and support our local watershed, South watershed area for the protection of these lands. Actually, I think I'm finished. Yeah, but
Thank you.
Time for a few more questions.
please, yeah.
I'll send
Thank you.
it.
I think that last idea about a partnership with the Conservation Authority is terrific, because we're kicking around the idea of should we have corporate organizational membership. And certainly an organization like Cleaning Up the Dawn might want to join us as an organizational Rotarian, because we're certainly supporting their initiative. Is there any other, like a watershed or environmental group in Toronto that you would suggest to us?
Yeah, actually, this is the authority itself, the Grand Toronto Region Conservation Authority.
Oh, right.
They're working here. There are a lot of projects.
Right.
So we can we can join one of their projects which affects Eglinton. It might not necessarily affect only Eglinton region, but we can contribute and have some impact on the society. So we can have some connections with them. Yeah, sure. So I just want to close with one thought. I think communities grow stronger when we combine our skills and values and passions to service to others. So I'm really so honored and excited to walk this path with you all. So thank you. Nice.
Questions? Anyone for
Stephen?
Please.
Yeah, I got involved with Grand River Conservation Authority
Yeah.
long before you were born as part of my environmental studies
Really?
thesis from York.
Oh.
The reason I chose Grand River was I have a first cousin who's still there on the floodplain of the Grand River. And they were talking about putting a dam in and flooding the property. I assume that's long gone off the books.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. Yeah, I would like to learn more in detail about your thesis as well. That's very nice to have that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay. Stephen, you're thinking?
Yeah.
Oh, you're, okay, good.
I'd like to thank Ismet. I'm really, really pleased that first of all, as a Rotarian, she came to Toronto and chose our club. That's a big feather in our cap. I also like the fact that she was leaving Turkey and came to Canada because this country's built with people like you, and we need more of you. And so far, we're 2 for 2 for great members from Turkey. So if we got any more, we could use them. But thank you very much for your excellent speech. And I also thank you for coming to the club with some ideas rather than what can I do. So we look forward to your continued participation.
Great, thank you, Stephen. Tom, if you want to make your way up to the front. Now we will have a report of Tom's group and the Philpott initiative.
Thank you. We're in the Philpott room, by the way. I was the chairman of the youth committee, and during that time, we were looking for projects where we can actually get to the youth and help the youth, because that's what it's about. We joined Rotary in order to help other people be better. So today, I've invited Richard Crofell, who is the director for the Philpott Foundation, and a young man who went through the program that we sponsored. And what we did was we sponsored somebody in their group, I don't think it was exactly him, was that to get certified as an instructor in Canada. And once she got the certification, she then got a job the next year working for the Philpott. And this organization has 16 different tennis clubs now working with underprivileged kids. I think it's $4,000 a year or $5,000 a year. These kids get a chance to get to sport, they get a chance to think outside the boundaries that they've been limited to. And I believe a lot in helping. This is directly at the kids. So I'm like, Richard, come on up. And he's gonna give us a little talk about what they went through to get certification.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. Appreciate being here. I want to give you a little context as to how this all came to be, and then I'm going to introduce you to my good friend Janardin, who's a coach with us as well and has gone through the program. And I mean, it's nice to hear his insights in terms of how things have gone. So, the Philpott organization's been around for a long time now. We serve kids in the city of Toronto. I came about the job with Philpott a number of years ago, and I remember to this day I met with, we have one of our founding board members, Eleanor O'Gorman, here with us as well, but I met with her in the chair at the time, and I had a cushy job at Tennis Canada in a big office, and I was kind of set, right? And I said to them, I said, well, if I make the leap and I move over to working for a small charity, there's a couple things that I want to make sure happen. And I said, and if you guys are on board with that, I'm your guy. I'll come over and we'll do this. And the first thing was I wanted to make sure that there was two things. We were not only developing coaches from the communities we serve, but at the time, 7% of our coaches were female coaches. And I couldn't, for the life of me, I couldn't understand why we couldn't get more female coaches on the court. And so I said, first of all, you have to have a commitment to developing coaches from the community and growing the number of female coaches we put on the court. Because the young girls in our program, and a lot of our male coaches, and Janardan's a fantastic coach, it's not the same relationship with the young girls on the court, and they needed mentors to look up to as well. And so a few years now, I think this year we're at 90% of our coaches came from our programs and from the communities we serve. So we went out, and thanks to organizations like yourself, and like Tom said, the last couple years you have funded a position in our leadership program for a young girl or boy to go through the program, learn about coaching, learn how to be a leader on the court, learn about communication, all those things, and become a paid coach. And so they come back and they work in the communities that they grew up in now as a leader. And so we're creating jobs and we're creating community leaders. So thanks to your organization for supporting that. We're at 90% of our coaches are from the community. And the other stat is, I think we're over, Janard, so many female coaches now in our program, right? I think we're slightly over 50% this year, but for the last 3 years, we've had over 50%. We're putting 24 female coaches on the court every summer, and we're certifying about 8 to 10 a year through our program. So thank you very much for your contributions to our leadership program. The second thing I would say is the second project that we have is that what we found when we surveyed the kids in our program, we found that it was wonderful. It was such a great endorsement of our program and the coaches that we have, that 97% of the families and kids wanted to continue to play tennis. They came out and they played and they loved it and they wanted to continue. They saw opportunities to go on and become leaders and paid coaches. And the unfortunate part was that over 80% of those families said that they didn't have the means or know where to go to continue to play tennis. And so our organization, under Eleanor's leadership and the group, made a decision a number of years ago that we were growing what we call horizontally. We were adding more and more sites. At one point we're at 19 sites and almost 6,000 kids. But we felt due to our capacity and what we want to, and there was talk about maybe moving to Montreal as well and setting up a program in Vancouver. But the decision was made, instead of continuing to grow horizontally, is that we would grow more vertically. And that's how we became, developing a deeper relationship with our coaches, doing more training. We've added so many levels to our leadership program. When I talk about it with Tom, it's like, you're doing that now too, and you're doing that. But we try and individualize the coaching programs for each of our athletes and each of our coaches. And so it also led us down the path that we're working on a project that's been a couple years in the making to bubble 2 courts at the corner of Jane and Finch at a community called San Romano Way. And what this will allow us to do is now create full-time jobs, create a community center where kids can come and play and be there on a regular basis and be engaged with their family and their friends and so forth. So it's a big project. It's the biggest project we've ever undertaken. We're sort of at the precipice this fall of trying to finalize all the paperwork and still trying to raise the last few dollars. But it's such a meaningful project to be able to put in a facility like that in this community and build a home for kids so that they all have a place to play. And if they want to become good tennis players, they can go on and play more often and become very good tennis players and leaders. Janardan specifically, and I'll invite him up in just a second, Janardan has gone through our program. One of the things that Tom and I had spoke about was that we were developing leaders, and one of the challenges for our leaders, there's a couple things. I don't know if there are any tennis players in the group, but no, not many, maybe some, or at least, yeah, all right. Tennis is not an easy sport. It's difficult to pick up, and in order to become a coach in tennis, and this is unlike most sports, right? If you become a coach in soccer, You don't have to go demonstrate how well you kick a soccer ball. But in tennis, because of the nature of the sport and coach it, you have to be able to demonstrate how good of a player you are and how good of a feeder you are and how you can demonstrate all these skills. So for a lot of the young women who joined our program, the young coaches, it's a tremendous mountain to climb. They have to get to a level 3.0 player to get the minimum standard. And many people play their entire life and don't get to that level. But some of our young coaches are getting there within a year. We're training them to become players as well as coaches. And so someone like Janardin, we specialize all of our programs. Janardin's actually a very good player. Guys, you don't want to play against him. He's actually pretty good. I avoid him. So, but he's a very good player. And one of the skills he has is that he's working as a leader now at his site at Grand Ravine in the Jane Finch neighborhood. He's a head coach for the last couple of years. And he takes on some of these young boys and girls at his site, and he helps develop in their play skill. He helps give them a passion. So he's working with, 60 kids at his site, but he's also working and mentoring these young coaches. And so we wanted to develop more depth to our program and become individualized. So for someone like Janardin, who's here today to speak to you, we want him to go on and do his next level of coaching. And what that means is it becomes more difficult because he's got to up his play level and his feet in. But what it does is it opens a lot of doors to him. It'll teach him commitment. It'll teach him, a whole new level of communication and planning and organizing. But what it does for him is it opens all these doors, right? When you're a level 1 coach, you can work with young kids at our program. When he goes on to get his Club Pro 1 certification, and he's signing up this fall to do that, he can now go on and work at any club in the country. He could be a coach here, and he can actually make a real living coaching. And so we want to specialize this for him. We believe strongly he's just a great coach and a great person. He'll be involved, so we have to provide him support. So he'll be involved in our leadership program this fall as a facilitator, because he needs more court time. He needs to get out and play more and feed more. So he'll be involved in our leadership program going forward. So I feel like I've said too much. Our organization is wonderful, and we're making great strides, and we're doing a lot. I think we want to hear from Janardin now, and he'll tell you a little. So come on up, Janardin, and Janardin will tell you a little bit about his experience in the leadership and some of the young coaches he's now working with and what he's up to. So I'll turn it over to my colleague Janardin.
Hello? Oh yeah, no worries. Okay. But like, despite what you believe, I'm actually not that good of a player. I get pretty scared every time I go on the tennis court. And I've seen Richard play, and I don't think I'll ever beat him. Maybe another few years. But yes, as he said, I'm a head coach at Grand Ravine, so that's near Jane and Finch. And I'm actually currently working at Jane and Finch. I actually have to start work in like 3 hours actually, so I have to be there soon. But one of the things I wanted to say is I've just started working last year with Philpott as a head coach in the Grand Ravine. And I remember my first experience there was I heard I was going to get a coach. Her name was Fiona. And I heard that she was very new to coaching, that she'd never coached before. All she did was she went through the leadership program with Philpott. And in my mind, I was like, oh no, this is my first year. I'm going to have someone completely new, 60 kids, 3 courts, just me and her. And I was like, I'm going to get fired from this job because I'm not going to be able to handle it with just me and her. It's going to be very difficult. But in my surprise, when I went there, Fiona was amazing. She was an amazing coach. She knew everything. She knew the fundamentals. She had a great play level. And I found a lot of that was due to the leadership program that was provided for her. She was able to play well. She was able to coach. She was able to demo with me. If I told her to do something, she was able to do it. She was nervous, obviously, because it was her first ever time coaching. But she was comfortable enough to be able to do things I asked her. So that's why I made her do all the work, and I just sat down and I just watched her do it all, and I get paid better money. But it was, jokes aside, it was really a refreshing experience because I'm not used to having first-time coaches be that comfortable coaching and not being able to do demos. And I summed it up to the leadership program being so amazing. So all I had to do was help her bring her personality out for the kids so that she's more relatable to them, more engaging, and everything else. But her play and her coaching ability that came to that leadership program was amazing. to the point where even this year, when I don't have her because she's in university now, all the kids still ask about her. They're like, where's Fiona? And I'll be like, oh, she's not here. And then they cry, and I'm like, what about me? And then they all said, we don't want you. So you know, it is what it is. But even though they say that, they still come every day. So I don't know what's up with them. But even this year, I have another 2 coaches, Oyen and Blake. Oyen I've worked with last year when she finished her leadership program, and she had to fill in for Fiona because she had to go for a trip. And she also had the same abilities where she's able to demo, but she's still nervous because it's her first time coaching kids. And so it was such a relief for me because instead of teaching my coaches like, hey, you have to know these fundamentals, and like kind of like what Richard said, you have to be in a decent play level. So not only do I have to coach the kids, I had to coach the coaches on how to play, but I didn't need to do that because of something like this leadership program. And so all I had to really do was help them be more comfortable and help them see different cues in coaching and be like, oh, maybe you can notice something like this, or maybe you can do something like this, and give them some more opportunities to be able to expand themselves. And the most important thing was them actually enjoying what they're doing. And going through the leadership program, they already have a feeling of like, oh, is this for me or is this not for me, for example. And all the coaches I've worked with so far love coaching and love the sport tennis, including myself. I've been really addicted to tennis. My mom very pissed off that I always go out to play tennis, but it's okay. I go out like 5 hours a day every day, but just so I can get better than Richard. But another person I've been working with, she's gonna go to the leadership program this year, and I'm hopefully gonna help out because I'm gonna do my CP1, and I'm hopefully gonna pass that, but fingers crossed. One of the coaches I had this year is also gonna go to the leadership program, and she's already having that enthusiasm, but she needs to help get to that play level. So then that's what the leadership program here is gonna help her out with, to get to that play level, to get to that comfort level, that she can be a great coach, because I know personality-wise, she's an amazing coach. She's so relatable. She's great with kids. She's funny. Some kids that even ask me this fall, where is she? But she has school, so like they never ask where I am, but it's okay. But yeah, so I hope the leadership program.
I have a suggestion and a question. The suggestion is, have you contacted the TDSB to see if you can use some of their tennis courts that are now been converted to basketball courts? And the question, more importantly, is when you become a paid coach at the Toronto Lawn Tennis Club, will you consider joining Rotary?
Oh. Well, for the second question, I'll be honest, I didn't actually really know too much, but seeing the core values being presented, it does actually really appeal to me. I really love the idea of like proving for, like, I believe you said, for service, right? And that's actually one of the things I'm wanting to become a teacher actually right now. So something like that is actually part of my core values. So I would actually consider becoming a Rotary member as well, yeah.
We need you. We need you.
And I'll answer really quickly the TDSB. We do work a little bit with the TDSB around our recruitment for young girls in our program. So we do have some connections with some of the schools, but we get a number of outdoor sites through our partnership with the City of Toronto. So in the summertime, we have lots of courts. It's in the winter time, indoor courts that are our biggest.
So that's why you need the bubble at San Romano.
Indoors, right? With Canada. So I'll just wrap by saying thank you, everyone. We really appreciate your support. Janardon's great. Like I said, part of our leadership program, a lot of the kids, it's their first jobs ever. For Janardon, this is part of his training and development as well. It's his first time speaking at an event like this. So we really appreciate you offering us that opportunity. So thank you, Tom.
Great, thank you to our friends from Philpott for joining us. We're going to be continuing with the business part of our Rotary meeting. You're welcome to stay if you want, but we understand if you also want to get on to other things.
He's got to get on the court.
Yeah, he's got to work in a couple hours. Okay.
And let me tell you, as a tennis player, it's very difficult to feed the ball. When I play with opponents, I lose. When I play with a coach, the ball always comes exactly where you want it. That's the hard part.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there any happy bucks today? I know there's one that you should know about that regarding birthdays. Lionel, I think tomorrow.
Oh,
Tomorrow your birthday?
Friday.
happy birthday, Lionel! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lionel. Happy birthday to you.
Which number? Which number?
29.
29.
I got $5.
Okay.
I just want to say thanks to Bill Martin. He is a true Rotarian, and he put together this event, which put 80 Rotarians together, and we had a nice day. Even God was good to us. It didn't rain. And we had a lot of fun, right, Bill?
We did, yeah.
So,
For sure.
thanks, Bill.
Yeah, thanks.
I have $15, a $5 for each of the Virgo lovelies in my life. My daughter Madeline's birthday was on Saturday, my mother's birthday is today, and my daughter Sarah's birthday is on Friday. So I have these lovely Virgo women that I am surrounded by, and I'm grateful for them every day.
Thank you.
By the way, I'm also a Virgo, and very first day of September, my birthday. But today for being here and being with you, and I just celebrate this moment. So thank you. Great to see you.
Sorry, Jackie.
Okay.
You got more money than I have. Tom, thank you. Tom did a heck of a lot, getting golfers out, getting sponsors. We have a lot of sponsors. We had several of you that are here today golfing, Craig and Bill, and Ron was golfing. We had a number of sponsors who participated. Sandy Loudon did the breakfast for us yesterday, wonderful breakfast, and Ray has contributed. So it was wonderful to have so many of our members involved. And as Tom said, it was a lovely day. It worked out really well, and hopefully more will be involved next year. Thank you.
Actually, my purse is over there. Okay. I have $5 to thank Tom for something else, for bringing us and explaining to us the Philpott Foundation. Because a couple of years ago, when that proposal came in for us to sponsor a young girl to get her tennis qualification, some of us said, "What the heck? Why should we do that? Where's the need?" What I didn't understand at the time was the areas of the city that these tennis training centers were being set up, and the young people that they were training to be coaches. I mean, it's a marvelous idea. It's right up there with trails, Tom. You know how to pick the organizations to support. So thank you, Tom.
Super. Thank you. Any more happy bucks? Okay. Lars, did you want to, or part
Yes,
of,
give it
be
to
part of
Lars.
your program? Or?
Okay.
Is that
I'll
good?
speak about foundation.
Okay.
I'll just take that.
Okay.
Oopsie.
So basically, lots of little bits and pieces here.
YouTube.
I did want to bring Craig up, Project Abraham. You had something to say. We want to. We have a motion here from Craig.
Yes, so Project Abraham, which we have sponsored in the past to the tune of $6,000, they have utilized that money astoundingly well for their homework program. Basically, they support refugees, a lot of the city refugees, which is they're coming out of Afghanistan, fleeing persecution from ISIS. And a lot of those refugees have been helped by the Project Abraham program. And the program that we support is the Homework Club. And I'll just give you a quick testimonial that Helen, the executive director, sent me there was one young lady who was struggling in math, in her grade 10 math. Her math score was 36% at the end of the year. She went into the homework club, and through one-to-one tutoring, which she tried to seek out from her teacher, but the teachers are so spread thin that they couldn't give her request. So through the homework club, the next year she came back, redid the course, and her score went up to 90%. So from 36 to 90%. So anyway, long story short is we want to support the homework club again for another $6,000. So I'd like to make a motion that we support the homework club for $6,000. So if I can get a seconder, Stevens, and all those in favor? All right, I think that's the majority. So thank you very much.
Okay, just to mention that Project Abraham had a picnic a week or so ago, and the two Walters, myself and Walter J, attended. A wonderful group.
Yeah, along with Gnizi as well. Yeah.
And Gnizi, yes.
Yep.
Gnizi was there also. Okay, actually, Lars, let me give the microphone over to you to talk about the board meeting. We've got a very, very extensive meeting today, all kinds of things going on. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Walter, President Walter. Yes, we had a board meeting last night, and we have this rotation of who's chairing it, and I was reminded that I was supposed to do it. It was actually one of the things that Craig talked about was brought up, and Glenn presented another motion as well, which was, I think, $2,000 to something that I have forgotten because that is in the car. So what was it we supported?
Dismiss.
Okay.
Prisoner reintegration into society, supporting prisoners.
Good. What else did we go through? We discussed setting up a Zoom account for the club and how to handle that. Lisa also brought up the question whether there can be the same treasurer for the club and the foundation. And some clubs have that arrangement, so we may look into that as well. What I have in mind is actually the foundation walk, which is on Sunday the 28th up in Woodbridge at the North Johnson Park. And that is one of the interesting things with the foundation walk. You end up in places that you would never really come to otherwise. And the foundation walk is something that was introduced probably about 50 years ago by past district governor Les Faluti. He's passed away. But it was then actually called the President's Walk, and it was the club presidents that walked to raise funds for the Rotary Foundation. It has then developed, and some of us have been to the events as it has passed over the years. And it is an attempt by the district to put highlight to the importance of supporting the Rotary Foundation. And as I say, it's in the 28th of September. I will send out further information because that is also stuff that is in the car and so on and so forth. But if you come up there, you will actually notice that President Walter has brought his photo studio with him and take individual pictures of people who compete the walk and so on and so forth. And just a little thing, and this, Anna, is a request that I can be part of your presentation 2 weeks from now. Because when you donate money to the Rotary Foundation, the default setting is the annual fund, the fund that eventually deliver the funds, the global grant money from the Rotary Foundation. However, there are different other things that you can support. You can support polio, you can support the endowment fund, and so on and so forth. But you can actually also donate to a specific project, global grant project.
And I would like to show that when you make your presentation, how that can be done. And the only thing, I encourage you to donate money to the Rotary Foundation throughout the year, not just for the 28th of September. So anyway, I think that is enough for me. So Walter, back to you.
Okay, Jackie?
Normally we have sheets on the table about the foundation walk and we donate. When are we gonna get those?
You will get them this afternoon on the internet. It has been a little bit of a struggle, I think, for the organizing committee. There are a lot of things in life that are not organized the way I would like to do it.
Okay.
This is one of them.
Okay.
So we will do the best we can. It's better than when I was president the first time.
Right.
We had a guy and he lost everything in a car wash.
So make sure that the funds donated, if it's e-transfer, that it goes to the foundation and not the club treasurer.
Yeah, if people donate to the club.
Not the club.
No, but to our foundation.
Yes.
That's what you're talking about.
That's
But
right.
I'm talking about the Rotary Foundation.
Okay.
You can donate.
Oh, you wanted to say, you wanted to go directly to.
You can do that. There are different ways.
Okay.
Okay, wow, very meeting here. Also, Out of the Cold is going to be starting very soon. We're starting the first week in November. So again, I'll be talking to people. Every year we've made a commitment of about 5 of us, myself included, volunteering pretty much every second Wednesday of the month. We're typically on team 2 and 4. So that comes up early in November. Again, that's a good month away, so I'll certainly tell you when that's coming up. Is there anything else here for the good of Rotary? Yes, over. Go ahead.
One more thing, Lisa, you should have yelled at me. We talked about looking after finding a new location after January 1st. And in order to move that forward, Walter J, and a couple of other members, so please talk to Walter, should look at alternatives, whether it's a BNR, Miller Tavern, whatever. The goal is that the board at the next board meeting has a report from that committee and can make a decision where we can be. Do you want to add some?
No, sorry, I was gonna go back to Out of the Cold.
Yes.
Is there any possibility of shifting it so that those who are volunteering do it on the first and third week of the month?
Possibly.
Because the challenge now
Yeah.
is, if it's the second and the fourth, you are conflicting
Yeah,
with
with-
both
yeah.
the evening Zoom
Well,
and with Raw.
Well, right now it's in the process of being set up, yeah, so
If
definitely
it's
that's good
possible
input.
to make
Yes.
that recommendation,
Most definitely.
otherwise,
Yeah. No.
I can't help you.
No, we can certainly shift that. But yes, there is good momentum with the Out of the Cold coming up, and yes, so I'm getting a lot of emails on that, and yes, we can probably shift that easily. So the schedule isn't confirmed yet. It's still in the stages, in the development stages, and there's a few mistakes basically with the schedule that I got just the other day. Okay, is there anything else in the room for the good of Rotary? Anybody else? Yes.
I just wanted to say, just if you haven't already guessed, 2 weeks from today, Pod 2 takes over, and we are going to hear from Anna about the Rotary Toronto Eglinton Global Grant Project that we're in the process of putting together. We're going to hear about the wonderful things it's going to do, how you can help, where we are in the process, and whatever else Anna wants to tell us about. So please come October the 1st and hear about our own global grant initiative.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, anybody else?
Foundation meeting?
Foundation meeting here afterwards. Otherwise, let's call this meeting to a close, and everyone have a fabulous week, and